let's have a chat about cloning Stevia plants. Welcome back to Chatting with Chintzy. I'm Chintzy Barado. For those of you that watched my previous Stevia video, you know, like a chump, I accidentally killed one of my plants. So that means instead of buying more plants, I'm going to take cuttings or clones from my existing plants, which will save you money and save you a lot of aggravation with those sometimes difficult Stevia plants. And even better, it works with pretty much any kind of vegetable plant. Let's get started. You're only going to need a few supplies to do this. You're going to need a couple of pots. You're going to need some potting soil for those pots. You need a couple of empty water bottles, a pair of scissors, a knife or a razor blade. Make sure your cutting instruments are clean, and some rooting powder. And last but not least, you're going to need an existing Stevia plant. And we're going to come over here to a long branch or stem. And what we're going to do is we're going to count down from the top. We're going to count 4 nodes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to come down here and we're going to cut just below that 4th one. So this is what you end up with right here. Now, in order to retain moisture, we're going to remove most of these nodes. That would be these leaves on the lower end of the stem. At this point, we're going to remove these lower leaves. And this is what we're left with. Don't forget, you can take these leaves and go ahead and dehydrate these and turn those into usable Stevia. But let's set those aside for now. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to take our knife or a razor blade, and we're going to score the bottom part maybe about a 1/2 inch up. So I'm going to show you how to score the base of the clone before you dip it in rooting powder. Take your cleaned knife and just very gently we're going to cut into it. We're not splitting it. We're not tearing it up. We're just cutting into it. Little slices along the edge. Roll it over. And that's it. You can't even really see the slices. On a stem this small, I'm going to do maybe 3 sides. If it's a thicker stem, maybe cut it 4 times around. Put that in the rooting powder, put it in your pot, and we're good to go. The next step is rooting powder. This can be purchased at pretty much any garden supply store, also at Walmart, any place like that. So we're going to take our cutting and we're going to put it into the rooting powder all the way up to about where we scored, close to the bottom node. So you can see here, it's got rooting powder on it. Simple as that. We're going to take our cutting, we're going to burrow out a little bitty hole in there. You can either use a pin, you can use your nose picking finger, or anything that suits you. We're going to drop it right on in there and make sure that soil is firmly up against the base of that stem. And there we have it. We have a Stevia cutting. But we're not done yet. Since here on Chatting with Chintzy, we're all about finding the cheap or free way to do things, this was mine at the gym. This was my water bottle that I was using. I repurposed this, and now I have rinsed this out, and we're not going to throw it away. We're going to use it for something else. Or take your clone, take your water bottle. Make sure you don't cut it too short. So we're going to cut it right around the edge of this so it covers the entire plant. Now let me show you what we do here. We're going to take this. Well, first off, we're going to punch a hole in it because scissors won't do that. So we're going to do that right about here. Again, be sure you do this without cutting your arm off or cutting your finger. So we're just cutting a little notch. We're going to take our scissors, going to push that joker in there and just cut all the way around. Doesn't need to be pretty, doesn't need to be precise, just needs to be efficient and effective. So we're left with a water bottle with no top on it. We're still not done. We're going to set this on top of the plant, and we want this to stay covering the plant and burrow into the soil. We're going to cut little notches in this. So let me show you what we do here. Cut up at an angle, cut up at another angle. So you'll see here, we end up with a little spike sticking out. That's what we're looking for. Let me do the rest real quick, and then I'll show you what the end result is. So now that we've got those cut, we're going to bend the flap down. We're going to cut the flap off. Make sure you don't cut the little spiky parts that we just cut. Let's keep going. And this is what we're left with. You can see it almost looks like a crown with the pointy parts sticking off. Those are going to stick into the soil. Let's go ahead and do that. So we have our cutting or clone and our empty water bottle that's been cut down and shaped to points on the end. We're going to take it simply like this, place it over the top. That's all there is to it. Now, the point of this is to retain moisture in there, and that's also why we cut off a lot of the lower leaves, because it helps the plant retain moisture. You want to keep this nice and real moist, and it's going to take about 21 days to form roots. And you may not be 100% on this, but you know, if you take 3, you might get 2, you might luck out and get 3, or you might get 1. Or if you don't keep this thing moist, you're not going to have any. Today, I'm making 3 clones because like I said, I killed one of my plants and I wanted more than 4, which is what I initially bought. So let's finish the other 2. For our second cutting, we're going to go with this guy. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes here. We're going to cut off just below that. So there we have it. Let's go ahead and take our other one while we're here. Let's go ahead and take this guy. So we got 1, 2, it's splitting off. 3, 4. Take this guy down here. Voila, there's our 2 cuttings. So we're just going to repeat the process. We're going to take the lower leaves off, rooting powder into the pot, put the water bottle on top, make sure it's moist, and wait 3 weeks. And once again, this is what we're left with. Let's do the other one. Now, I probably shouldn't have taken this one, because this one had already started growing and having new growth. At this point, we want this plant to switch back into rooting instead of growing vegetation on it. But I think this will work anyway. One other thing I kindly ask is that you please remember to like and subscribe. It helps us make new content, hopefully that you find useful, and hit that bell notification. It'll let you know when new videos are released every Wednesday. Let's go ahead and prep our pots. Make sure your hands are clean when you're doing this. Let's take our Stevia cuttings, put them in the rooting powder. If these Stevia are real dry, you can wet the tips because you want this rooting powder to stick. I'm going to show you how talented I am. We're going to do 2 at once. Blam! Blam! Look at there. Now, I've already got my water bottles cut, so we're just going to put them right on top of there. Again, make sure they're not too short. You don't want the plant being bunched up. You want the plant to be able to have a little bit of room, and that's it. We're going to add the third one back to our tray. I'm going to water these a little bit just to make sure they stay nice and moist, and make sure they stay moist over the next 21 days. It takes about 20 to 21 days for these things to form roots. And if they're looking kind of droopy at first, don't worry about it. They should be okay, just keep them moist. Don't have them swimming in water, but make sure the soil is moist, and you're looking for condensation on the outside of these containers. And while I'm wrapping up this last clone, Don't forget, you can also use your do-it-yourself reusable vegetable pots. They also work as Stevia pots. And in addition, these can be given as a gift to somebody else too, in case you don't have enough plastic pots. Now let's not forget, the tent's right over these too. Does the same thing. So if you don't have plastic pots, go ahead and use your do-it-yourself vegetable pot. If you're not sure how to make these, I'll put a link to my video in the description where I discuss how to make these and the seed starting pots out of toilet paper rolls. One other thing I want to point out with these new clones that we've got here, do not put these in direct sun. They're still in a vulnerable state right now. What I do is I put them in my room with my other Stevia plants, but I don't put them in the window. They get some residual light, but they're not in direct sunlight, which will cook these things. So keep them kind of in a shaded area, but you do want them to have some light, and make sure they don't get too hot. So what we've done here today is shown you a free way that in case you accidentally ruin a plant or want to have more of the same plant, there's a cheap, basically free way to do it. The only thing you got to buy is the rooting powder and the potting soil if you don't already have some. You can do this with just about any kind of vegetable plant or almost any kind of plant that you want to propagate or clone. So, and aside from saving you money, don't forget the most important part. We were created on purpose for a purpose. Be your purpose. Until next time on Chatting with Chintzy, I'm Chintzy Barato. Out.